The person who recorded these parables was a physician named Luke. And you can tell that Luke was enamored with Jesus' love for people who were far away from God. Luke's recorded story about a good Samaritan is one of the ones that we know best. A man sacrificed his own time, his own money to care for a victim of violent crime when some religious leaders had ignored that suffering man. And Luke shared this warning from Jesus. A lot of you assume that you'll sit down to God's salvation banquet just because you've been hanging around the neighborhood all your lives. Well, one day you're going to be banging on the door wanting to get in, but you'll find the door locked and the master saying, "Sorry, you're not on my guest list." Now that warning puts a lump in my throat because I've been hanging around God's neighborhood since I was 10 years old. And if you've been in the mix at this church or some other church for a long time, you should listen up. This story should disturb you a bit. Well, back in Luke chapter 15, with the riffraff gathered around, Jesus taught about being lost and about being found, and the profile of those who came to listen was noticed by the religious elites who were there to keep an eye on Jesus. Luke 15:2 says, "This made the Pharisees and the teachers of the religious law complain that Jesus was associating with such sinful people, even eating with them." Friend, this is the problem with religious pretense. It misses the point. It misses the mission, even when the mission is front and center. Friend, the more impressed you become with yourself, the more obsessed you become with yourself, the less you will care about people who are far from God, the lost ones, who are such a priority for God. You know, when I read about Jesus' run-ins with spiritual leaders, it makes me want to look in a spiritual mirror. I need to be on guard. I need to be self-aware. People like me with visible roles or titles, even if it is lead guy, need to be careful. And church folk like you, like many of you, need to be just as careful. Those who are very aware of right and wrong, you be careful. Why? Because the most dangerous virus is spiritual pride. It will kill your soul and make it hard for other people to get to God. The more orthodox your life is, the more susceptible you are to smugness.